Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. To some of you, and peace out to the rest of you. Hit the share button because the message is more important than the messenger. This is not just about bits of evidence that have come out that show that it's a war. This is also a warning to the men that have pro-black woman leanings. If you're a pro-black male, that's fine, but if you have pro-black woman leanings, you gotta understand that these sisters are out to get you. They're not playing around with you. They want you to suffer. They want you to lose. Understand this to the men that have these pro-black leanings. Not throughout the world, not in every environment, but in the Western Hemisphere, especially the Anglophone Western Hemisphere, and pretty much any first world economy, we're going to be diluted. We're going to be absorbed by others. I don't want it that way, but I want you to understand that's what's going to happen, or we're going to die out. Now, the continent is probably one place where we can continue on undiluted if that's really that important to you. And even then, in order for that to be the case, we're going to have to stop the spread of feminism and misandry throughout the continent. It's already in pretty much full swing in Nairobi, from what I've heard, Lagos certainly, and don't get me started on Joburg, Cape Town, and Pretoria. It's really on the swing there. Even in the rural countryside of South Africa, the baby mom epidemic is out there, so you still gotta be stepdad. You may not get to be dad, just stepdad. That's when they're traditional and still nice to you. Gentlemen, you of the pro-black leaning especially, it is not your fault. There's nothing you could have done to prevent this. You've been told to remain genetically loyal to the one type of woman that keeps pushing you away. It's not even a black woman, because when they say the black woman, they really pretty much mean the ADOS woman, or at least, a first world economy woman, or maybe a Western Hemisphere Anglophone woman that still has a nasty attitude. What they're really saying to you is the ones with the funkiest attitudes. Maybe even the worst diets. Definitely. That's what they want you to stay loyal to. They don't want you to go back to the continent and get someone that's actually going to cooperate with you, especially if she's cute. They want you to stick with the Western African phenotype, sure, but don't get that mindset. No. First world mindset. First world economy mindset. Which ironically is going even to some non-first world economies like Jamaica, Bahamas, and probably Barbados, certainly Belize. I know that High Bristol Philly is there in Belize, Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago. These are areas people have told me about, or that I've seen ladies fail interviews. That's where I get these names from. That's what they want. They don't want you to go to Nigeria. And if you do, they don't want you to go to the north. You see what's going on here? And you're so loyal, you're so pro-black, and you don't understand that they're so anti-you. See, think about it. The sister that has the head wrap and talks all this metaphysical stuff and pro-blackness, by definition should want a man that believes the same thing. But when you show that you actually believe it, they become least interested in you. See, the most sincere pro-black men I know are also the most single. Hell, if you don't believe that Omar Johnson is sincere, and he probably isn't, if he's not sincere, look how long he had to stay single, even with kids out of wedlock. Look how long he had to stay single. They didn't want to bend over and empty his testes. When he finally did get married to two of them, look how old they were. Why couldn't they do that when they were young? Because they got an effing attitude problem. And it's mostly aimed at you. And that's what I want you to understand. So that's the reason why it is, gentlemen, that you can't be pro-black and be attractive to them. Matter of fact, however attractive you were to them before, you become less attractive when you're pro-black. Think about it. We got one 6 feet plus, 6'4", a practicing physician, a content creator for a long time, and you can't find someone that's going to cooperate and submit. But I tell you what, if he was all about smashing snow bunnies, he'd probably get more submission and cooperation, even if all he wanted to do was smash and dash. Because they look down on you so much they don't respect you when you're pro them. As a matter of fact, your validation of them, though they demand it, makes them doubt themselves even more. Nobody's suffering from self-hatred except the sister. That's what you got to understand. They're projecting onto you and blaming you, and you didn't even do it. So let's look at the evidence that they're at war with you. Well, one is what I just mentioned. How come the most sincere pro-black men can't get with sisters? Cannot. Some have asked the question, they've mentioned how you got these revolutionary brothers that are with either non-ADO sisters or non-Western sisters, or they're with someone that's not black at all. I know what it is. Sisters are pushing them away. They're not going out here looking to get with anybody but a sister. Those are the ones that will treat them better. I know, I've been pro-black. Sisters didn't, looking back on it, I realized a lot of them didn't fib a guck until they thought that I would consider somebody else. I mean, it was like once they realized that I was loyal, that was their validation, but I look back on it, and that's when they had the least interest. Dang. Anyway, look at Sukihana in her video. Now, she's got to know what the F is going on, but she still twerked on a 10-year-old boy in a music video. I don't have to tell you what happens if it's the reverse. She felt comfortable doing it. That means we haven't gone far enough with the message yet. The way that they reacted to Bronny James for a prom date. See, the thing is, I've not seen any proof or even any other stories about them being a couple. They were a prom date couple, and look how they went in on him. Did one of them have anything to say about Zaya Wade being with a girl that thinks she's a boy while Zaya's a boy thinking he's a girl? They didn't have a mother cuss word thing to say. He's too young to really be romantically involved with anybody, but someone sat there and snapped a photo of him kissing a girl that thinks she's a dude. The actual gender arrangement wasn't unnatural in that, but the gender identity issue is that's what's insane to many of us. Even to a lot of liberal parents. And someone sat there and snapped a photo and pasted that and let that circulate. And sisters didn't have a mother cuss word thing to say about it. Hell, look at his stepmom, Gabrielle Union. She's okay with him going through all of that, just as long as he doesn't like light-skinned black women. Oh, but now he's with a white girl that thinks she's a boy. And that's okay. See, as long as it's not the normal, natural, healthy arrangement, it's okay with sisters. That doesn't work out for them because most of them are heterosexual. So that's inconvenient for them, but they're willing to celebrate it. And they don't even realize that the only reason they're willing to celebrate it is because it ain't convenient for you. To Crimson Cure to call that out and explain that much of what they would hold from you, even when they like it, is just out of contempt for you. They just don't want you to be happy. Hell, Richard Pryor said that joke. Why should you be happy? He said it a long time ago. He was quoting him. Now, there's no other explanation as for why they do what they do. You can't explain this any other way. And yet some of you men are sitting here talking about some pro-black this and pro-black that. Oh man, why don't you fit the guck up out my face with that? Our faces with that. Because after a while it just gets to be insane. You actually think that if you just outcompete every other man, they're gonna look at you and say, oh, here's our shining black king. Gentlemen, let me explain this to you right quick, if I may. If you even so much as can fly without the aid of machines and you become bulletproof, super strong, do you know what sisters in the West would do? They would find a way to synthesize kryptonite and then shoot you with it. And then talk about how weak and conquered you are. Like they're doing now. And And they would talk about divesting like they're doing now. And when they talk about divesting like they're doing, they would talk about divesting to only that Wyatt, Mr. Charlie. Because they ain't talking about divesting in large numbers to other groups. Some of them will talk about divesting to other groups that are equally unattractive to them, like the Chinese and the Koreans, the Gulf Arabs. Yeah, I'm talking about, that's fine, because those men are the least interested in them. Issa Rae said it herself. Said it in the book. Wound up married to a Shine later on in the south of France, but before that, she was about get you an Asian. She was telling sisters, get you an Asian man, and don't get you one of them N-words of the Asian community either. They want only the approval that they're never going to get. The minute you turn your backs on them and you will not go after them anymore, probably is when they're going to come seeking it. Then again, maybe not. But either way, you got to understand it shouldn't matter. You being pro-black, pro-them. For them is enough of an alarm and a red flag about you in their eyes. Not in mine, but in theirs. Clarence, you can tell these sisters, you can tell us that Keisha needs coaching all you want. To be honest with you, you lessen your chances of getting one of them by saying this and then putting your name and face out there. When they see you, if one of them has heard you say this online and they see you, they're automatically less interested. Now, how is that your fault? It's not, but you need to come to grips with it. SWP, you can put pictures up of abundantly melanated sisters and talk about all this chocolatey goodness. You're 6'4" and a physician, and you're validating them. How come they ain't cooperating and submitting? In all honesty, they should be lining up, and they should be willing to share you. They're not. How is that your fault? Obviously, it's not. You've done what they've asked. They're just not going to do what they said they would. Don't blame yourself. Stop trying. The way they celebrated the death of Mr. Samuels was evidence. Suki Hana's twerking on the 10-year-old and the lack of pushback she's gotten from the hyenocracy is evidence. That's not all. I mean, I've already mentioned the other stuff. Brittany Blooper trying to say that we're the real threat. Forget about Peyton Gendricks. That's evidence, despite the fact that 2 black men died trying to defend black people. That's evidence. The grilling of Ice Cube, that's evidence. Shortly after that, the same Vivica Fox tried to call Prince Harry light-skinned Harry. But she's gonna grill, she's gonna participate in the grilling of Ice Cube and shuck that fit. It's evidence. All of it is. They're at war. Now, how effective it is up to us. I'm not telling you to go out and harm them. I'm telling you to avoid them. I'm telling you start businesses and don't hire them. I wouldn't have said this a while ago. But now I would say, if you're going to hire us, and there will be those that are trustworthy, what I would say is you go after the ones that you know are trustworthy. Recruit them actively. Don't let the other unknowns come up and apply. Because then you got to lie about who owns the business. You're just the manager. Because the minute she realizes that your shine behind owns that business, it's black owned, she's not going to respect you. Show up late, leave early, ask for extra money, all that stuff. The minute you discipline her, she's going to file a false lawsuit. Because they learn how to work the system instead of working. Especially when it comes to you. Turn around and go get an HR job working underneath Massa Wyatt. And they will instinctively, without him having to say anything, know not to hire too many outspoken, manly, heterosexual black males. Ain't got to be told. They just shut you out. Now, put on a little lipstick, break your wrist and sashay in there like you're not interested in women at all, then they feel like they gotta hire you. Then turn around and say, how come ain't no good men out there for us? They ain't got no jobs. They could sit up there and do this and then complain about how the ones that are successful are non-AY. I'm not going to sit up and say nobody else in the world does this. Well, that is something nobody else does. Even other sisters don't do this. I mean, even other black women don't do this. That is something that's unique. But you keep on thinking and telling us that we just need to step it up. I mean, granted, I guess it's true that if a man does fall behind a woman financially and academically, that she's going to lose respect if he stays. I guess that is the case, but you still got to understand something. When you get back up ahead, they don't gain it back for you as if they had it to begin with. They've already shown that they're willing to get with some of these Wyatts and then carry them. Hell, they'll get with an Idness and carry him because he's an Idness. You being black but not negatively stereotypical can't be carried. You can't expect that. You don't get to live off of them. You don't even get to have a benefit in exchange for the benefit. You bring none of that stuff. No. Your job is to get out there and slay away. That's it. And you're willing to do it. And you're willing to keep trying to figure out how you can win her back. The fact that you're trying, the fact that you're telling us these things you're telling us only sends a signal to them that you're not worthy. They look at us in the audience and see who's not listening, and then at least those of us that aren't listening got a better shot. And that ain't much. But the ones of us that listen to you are the ones who have the least chance, I know. Because they see a pro-black man, not pro-black male, a man that is pro-black male, but they see a man that is pro-black period as a simp. Less of a man. That's how they view it. It's funny, they only care when you're with somebody else. They don't care under any other circumstance. Once you're with somebody else, then they care. That's why they care about Bronny. See, what it is they want you castrated. Bronny's not. Granted, like I said, they don't even, nobody knows that they're actually even a couple, just prom dates, but, you know, he's not castrated. Zaya is. And they're cool with Gabrielle Union doing the castrating. Hell, his father is. That's why his name is Zaya now. There you go. Castrated. And they're happy with that. Will Smith, they're happy with that. You're never going to be enough. You just have to come to the grips with the fact that it's not your fault. And it's one of the hardest things to say. Because you are black men, raised by black women, either with or without a black father present, you were raised by black women. And even black men that do raise oftentimes teach you to take accountability. And unfortunately, we make the mistake of extending accountability to things that are beyond our control. Stop it. And don't pass this on. That's nigger parenting. And I said it just like that. I'm with it with Alan Anderson in that regard. Say it with the heart on everything. You gotta stop that mess. There are two extremes you can take with accountability. One is you're always making excuses, you never take any, even for what you control. Does that sound familiar? But the opposite extreme is our problem. You take it for things over which you don't have any control at all. I'll tell you an ancient proverb. So old. Dates back to May 30th of 2022. Let not those who boast of power, options, choices, or authority dodge the accompanying accountability. Let that become our proverb in dealing with them, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're bragging about smashing who they want to, and you smash who you can, and then they want to turn around and say that you're responsible. You alone are responsible for every conception. And they have all the options. We got to get rid of this mindset that allows us to think this way, and that's exactly what a lot of you gentlemen have. Thanks for listening. Black heart, black mind, black out, assalamu alaikum, and black heterosexual non-select male power because they don't like it, and black patriarchy till extinction or judgment day.